Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We're here at the wonderful Bradmore Farm for Operation Bullseye.
It's nice, isn't it?
Look, defence darts at its finest here. Mate, looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, I did the very first one and helped Zara as much as I could along the way, and yeah, I'm really proud to be asked back. I think they're a forgotten part of our society of late, and they need all the help they can get at the moment, as we well know. I'm not going to go all political, but for those of you who follow politics, that you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but listen, if we make just one change to one person's future after they sacrificed their life for us, then yeah, nothing feels better, mate, than giving a bit back.
Look, we've seen darts grow the way it has, but to see it now growing in the forces as well, recognised as a sport, seeing wonderful servicemen practising here, this is a real step forward for the sport away from the professional level. Yeah,
I think, I'm sure you'll get some footage later. There'll be 200 plus current servicemen and ex-servicemen all in uniform, and it's quite humbling. But yeah, darts across the board is getting bigger and bigger, and as a publican, we sort of see it right at the immediate grassroots with one-leg pub darts, how much interest there is, and just the general chat about of the obvious Luke Littler and Bo Greaves. But either way, you know, they're doing a fantastic job, and like what you do, you know, without you lot bringing the public the behind the scenes stuff, they don't really get to know what's going on. So it's amazing. I never thought the game is where it is. We had a dream when we were all coming through, and Sky were making us do stupid skits and whatever else, that, you know, we sort of tried to lay the foundation, and the boys have picked up the baton and run with it, and all credit to them, because yeah, the game's never been better. It's fabulous.
They're just looking around, we're seeing all the servicemen in their uniform or whatever.
And how proud that, you know, they're thanking us. You know, I'm sort of saying, no, thank you, mate.
Yeah, I was just saying not to chuck some darts. Look, Matchplay is on the horizon. I know we're going to do a special in a couple of weeks' time, but we'll know the draw.
Live Lounge Live, not at the Prince of Wales.
No, but don't worry, the Wild one will always be at the Prince of Wales.
Absolutely.
Look, there's some big names in danger of missing out, and it's going to be a shock to the system for some of these players, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, if as an ex-player, when you missed out on the match play, that was a tough one to take, because it was usually an indicator that you were in a spot of bother, and your form, especially in my day, because of course the field had nowhere near the strength and depth they had now, but then it was devastating. Now everyone knows the match play outside of the Worlds, for me, it's the second most important tournament. It's the one with the history outside of the Worlds, and yeah, there's certain players that are stalwarts for the match play that we're not going to see. But listen, Father Time waits for no man, mate, and if you get lazy, you get found out now. And the players that are not putting the graft in, listen, you got no excuse. You got a year, you know, well, not quite, but yeah, and a few players are going to miss out, and it'll either be the kick up the backside they need, or it's a genuine slide. We've seen it from players before, and they've used it as a tool to really bounce back, and I hope for the players missing out, that's exactly what the case is.
You say that, but not many have stopped the slide properly. They've had a brief stint where they've stabilised, but
Simon Whitlock always comes to mind, and James Wade was another one.
They're probably the only two that have physically stopped it and got back,
gone in the right direction.
It's hard to stop that slide.
It is, because everyone around you's making gains on you all the time, and there's enough pressure anyway. But I think, you know, this isn't the case for certain players, but I know a lot of players now are sort of, I'm not going to do this, I'll skip that. That may come back at some point to haunt them a little bit. You know, you hope not, but listen, the sport is it's got a different dynamic to it now. You know, I think pro tours, I get why players don't bother with those so much. But I think missing out on Euro tours when you're in them, I think that's a boo-boo.
Well, I can't touch on that, and Gary's kind of the blueprint for that. Are you concerned that Gary is undercooked heading into this year's match play with the amount of darts he has skipped?
Yeah, for me, if I had have had a Euro tour to play prior to the match play, Is he playing the Pro Tours?
He's playing the Pro Tours, but he's not going to Leverkusen.
Yeah, see, I'd use the Pro Tours as practice for the Euro Tour and use the Euro Tour as a real baseline for the match play. But that's just me. Gary's Gary. Listen, that guy's got more talent in his little finger than I had in my whole body. But listen, he knows what he's doing. If he thinks that's the right thing, he's his own boss, right? Gary does what he wants, and he makes me smile. And he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And if he's missing out on them, he either genuinely doesn't care, or he's got a different approach and he's maybe grafting and trying to do it via practice. But I don't think anything beats match practice. But again, that's my personal way of doing things, and that really works out for me. So maybe I should have done it the Gary way.
Mind you, Anderson 2.0's coming through quite quickly, isn't there? That we could have another Anderson very soon.
Yeah, I don't think we got to wait too long to have another Anderson to support. He's brilliant, and he's such a lovely lad, as you would expect. And it's quite a funny. That's quite a funny dynamic between him and Ty, really, because he don't give him any change whatsoever. It's great. And listen, if he makes it, he's going to be a force, because he's not going to be handed anything.
Oh no, he'll have worked for it, that's for sure.
He'd have worked for his dad's respect on the dartboard, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, obviously New York just happened, and we've got a huge bit of news. ESPN in the States are showing the darts.
Yeah, and I'm going to front that programme. No,
I know.
That would have been good, wouldn't it? What an exclusive that would have been.
What a breakthrough this is for the sport. On the biggest platform in North America, darts, those next 5 big tournaments are all being shown.
One of the biggest sports platforms
in the world.
ESPN is so big. This is the breakthrough. Listen, there's 2 things I'd like to see happen. One of them's just happened. ESPN, right? The other one is for the Euro Tour to get a television platform. I know we have it, via Viaplay and all the other ones, but I think it deserves a TV platform. And I know a lot. Listen, I watch the Euro Tour on the TV at home, but that's not the case for many dart fans. They wouldn't know how to go about it. If there was just a direct channel they could flick onto. I think that is something that would grow the game even further, because we know the stories of the players that come through the host nation qualifiers and get on a run. Tom Sykes, who's here tonight, I'm sure you're going to have a chat with him if you haven't already. What a story that was in his second ever European tour, and no, it was his first European tour. Made semi-final. What a great story, and again, we sort of paint that picture in the broadcast we do, but only a select amount of people get to see it, which is a little bit sad. But yeah, another huge move by Matchroom and the PDC. And again, I don't know why DAZN don't want the European Tour. For me, it's a no-brainer. They already have a platform. They already have a darts platform on DAZN, and again, it's a little bit less complicated than getting the apps and PDC TV and everything else. We'd encourage more people, I think, to maybe get DAZN, because again, it's a very affordable platform, and maybe that's something that happened down the line. But all in all, the ESPN deal is absolutely. I'm sure to the normal person they think, oh well, or the casual sports fan, oh, it's only another network. ESPN is absolutely ginormous.
Obviously, the atmosphere in New York was unreal. Biggest crowd that we've seen so
over
far.
Over 5,000, wasn't it?
Over 5,000. One, it looks like we're going to the big arena next year. And 2, with the American investment into Matchroom and the way it's growing there, could you see within the next 3 to 4 years them picking up one of our majors and plonking it in America?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of tournaments that it could work for, possibly the Grand Prix, if we had a system where there could be a qualification to get some American and Canadian players in it somehow. Whether
Grand
you did
Slam?
Yeah, the top 28, maybe the Slam. I think I'm pretty sure that ESPN would have signed that deal on some sort of proviso that they get their own tournament maybe. I think you've got so many good locations that it would work. Boston being one of them, New York, Chicago, yeah. There's so many big where
hubs.
Darts is massive, where there's a lot of expats. But yeah, listen, it's looking exciting. I think. Listen, we know when we think that the PDC have sort of almost peaked, they go, "Wallop, hold my dart case, have a look at this. And they continue to do it. Continue to surprise me and impress me that they're not just sort of sat back going, oh well, we're doing all right. Remarkably, the business is enormous for them, and I really want to see. I want to hear from Eddie and see what his thoughts are with it. I know he's very much a boxing man. I mean, they do so many other sports, but I don't see enough of him for me front in the darts. You know, I just want to see maybe a bit more passion or similar passion he has for boxing. I don't know. I don't really. When I do see Eddie, we talk about boxing and nothing else. We actually never talk about darts, so I don't really ask him too much about it. But I will do it the fishing, because he's going to be there as you are, I think, Barnsley.
Luke and Luke continue just pull up trees, and when we think they can't get any better, they go again.
That final was just
the World Cup, and then the New York final. Is it hard to see anyone troubling them at Blackpool?
Listen, I don't think it's a given in darts at all at the moment, because there is so many. Is there players in it who are playing well enough right now over that course and distance to trouble either of them? Maybe Johnny Clayton, maybe Gezi Price if he can be asked. That was brilliant, by the way. Listen, Dobie, who's here tonight, he can play in long enough spells to cause anybody drama. Rob Cross is just making a little bit of or getting back to something like his best. I think it's hard to see past that. It's the same as when we had a chat about the World Cup, and everyone was going, "Oh, well, it didn't work last time. What makes you think it'll work this time?" Well, because
they learned their lessons.
They learned their lessons for one. They'd have felt the it was out and out abuse that they both received for not winning, and not taking in consideration how well Germany played, or you know. And I just felt a year on in their relationship, both a year wiser, especially Luke Littler, who's a year older. And I had him down to beat the Netherlands in the final, and lo and behold, a clock is right twice a day, and that was a rare one for me. But I couldn't see anybody beating them if they gelled, and this time they did.
Since we last spoke, Wessela's won another Pro Tour, another European Tour. He's provisionally world number 10 without a run on TV. Is the Premier League calling? I know we're only in July, but is it going to be hard to leave him out if he carries on this trajectory?
I think if he takes this Euro Tour and Pro Tour form onto the TV stage, almost impossible, because our big concern from him was getting over the line, wasn't it? He put himself in so many great winning positions and dominant positions and couldn't close them out. And he's used the Pro Tour and the Euro Tour for exactly learning how to do that. And he looks a different player the last 6-7 months. He's just looked. Listen, we always know the talent's there. I mean, the ability is there, and now he's added the mentality, and he's another one. He's a threat at the match play. He's another one that can average big numbers for long distances, and he's one on the shortlist. But that shortlist outside of the top two, it's probably another 30.
No, I agree. That draw is going to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because there's some dangerous floaters in there as well that you don't want to be getting.
Well, Bobby's the one. The form he's just rocked up in.
Yeah, and again, he's had his own issues to deal with, which have been well documented, and he seems to be sort of coming out the other side of that now.
Is it a surprise? He's obviously been bottling this up for a long time.
I didn't know anything about it. So.
No, I took everyone by surprise, but we all know the issues he's had financially and then relationship-wise. Now that all seems to have just evaporated, and all of a sudden he clicks and goes back to form. That's not a surprise, is it? Because that pressure is now gone. It's all out in the open. He hasn't got to bottle it up. He hasn't got to hide it anymore.
No, and he probably feels like there's a huge weight off his shoulders, and he can play now with a bit of freedom. It's all out there, and everyone has an opinion or a thought on it, and that's up to them. The fact that he probably feels like, right, nothing can happen to me now. It's out there. Everybody can still say whatever they want to say, but for him, more importantly, he's got nothing to hide. It's sad. He's got kids, and it's horrible seeing him. We had the same thing with Michael, and it affected him as well initially, until he sort of, it became public knowledge, and he was allowed just to get on with his life. And look what he did. He popped up and won the World Series, didn't he? The World Series finals. and maybe something like that hopefully can happen to Rob.
Well, mate, we'll let you get on because I know you've got to go and
I've got
get
to practice.
And then Live Lounge Live, Monday the 3rd of July. It's going to be good.
From the northeast.
The northeast this time.